Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Dano Crypto. On this channel, we show you guys how to make simple, effective, and easy moves in the cryptocurrency ecosystems. Hope you guys had a really awesome weekend. Man, there's a lot to talk about, but we're going to keep it pretty simple today. We're not going to make it too complicated. Basically, the topic of discussion is if we're going to have a similar stimulus rally, just like we had back in 2020 and 2021. If you guys remember, we actually got 3 stimulus checks. We had one first, second, and third round of stimulus checks, and all in kind of in different amounts. I think the first one was like 1,500, or it was like 1,000, or I don't even know, something like that. I can't remember, it was so long ago. But we're going to compare the percentages and average of what people did last time, if they spent it, the percentage of people who saved it, and the percentage of people who used it to pay off debt. We're going to compare those numbers, and we're going to talk about what the stimulus for this round is actually coming from, because it's not directly coming from printing money, which is what the stimulus came from last time. They printed a ton of money, and a lot of that money went out to other countries, but also a little portion of it went into Americans' wallets. And so we're going to see where this stimulus is coming from, which is supposed to be from the tariff revenue. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into a little bit of the ETFs too today. We're going to talk about how the altcoin mania will be fueled by which ETFs are going to get the most trading volume, which ones are going to have the biggest institutional and retail adoption through the 401ks, through being able to rebalance these portfolios that were maybe heavy percentaged into a particular sector. And now we can kind of go into what this new money system sector is going to have, which is all of these different rails and blockchains that are going to be minting stable coins. We're going to get into which ones are kind of the market choice right now. But make sure you guys hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, ding the bell to be notified whenever I go live, because you don't want to miss these updates. We're going to keep it pretty simple these days. We're not doing any trading. We have gone successfully 3 weeks without doing any leverage trading. We've just been spot buying. Excuse me. We've just been spot buying, no leverage trading. We haven't drank any alcohol either. We were doing sober October, so no alcohol, no tequila. And we've been on a 40-day streak. So, or actually longer than that now, because we started on, so it's been, about 40 days. So we've been doing good. We've been doing good. So we hope you guys are doing well. And I give you all of the energy and the will to be able to do whatever kind of sober thing you're trying to give up, whatever addiction, whatever thing that's slowing you down, whatever it is, because it's all relative and different for other people. I want to pray for you, and I want to give you the will and the strength to be able to battle it and overcome it, because, man, sometimes it's tough, man. It's tough. And the leverage trading was something for me that I started to creep up in me. Even if I was good at it or bad at it, it's still the fact that I was getting so, quote, addicted to it, and the emotions that come along with it. I was like, nope, that's not for me. It's not going to serve me very well. And I don't think it's really going to serve my viewers either. So I wanted to be a little bit more responsible for you guys. And I think we're doing a pretty good job. So just a reminder, we'll just do all the shills and get all the shills out of the way first. We're only shilling a few links. We're only shilling MetaMask because we feel like a lot of the content creators right now are focusing on prediction markets, gambling, directing their viewers into casinos, roulettes, just all this different stuff, and also into leverage trading. I want to do a different approach, and I want to try and capture retail, just people that are just like brand new into crypto, and say, hey, just like start to test out these wallets, download a MetaMask, learn about the seed phrase, learn about wallet security, learn about the networks and the EVM address, like what that means. Some of these people that are coming into crypto, millions of people, are still don't know that concept of the networks and like your different addresses and how maybe your public address changes when you use Solana, that the string of characters are different, or they don't realize that your EVM address that's connected with these different blockchains like Polygon or Avalanche or Mania or Ethereum, it's the same address. So it's like just basic stuff like that is what I would like to cater to. And if that is in right now, because really retail's not here in crypto like we would like them to be, but I want to be an account that is going to capture these people. Right now, all the people that are watching YouTube and crypto YouTube, they're all gambling addicts, leverage addicts, and they're the same people that are watching the other crypto YouTubers, and they're all going back and forth, and we're all watching, and it's all the same people. But what we're wanting to do is try and just like cater to the new people, because no one knows what the hell you're talking about. Like, I realize when I go to these crypto channels, of course, I know what everyone's talking about when you're talking about all these different things in crypto. But if we want to be honest, and we want to capture the true FOMO, like the true retail, like people that are going into Alex Becker's channel, that's what we need to talk about. We just need to talk about old, boring, getting a wallet, going into CoinMarketCap, and literally just building a watch list of just dog coins. It's a joke, but that's what we have. But we're going to use one of our watch lists. We're going to go through one of the watch lists today and just kind of see and go through kind of a spitfire of some of these altcoins. But all right, so let's get into a little bit of the topic of the stimulus. So there's the official post. We have people that are against tariffs are fools. We are now the richest, most respected country in the world with almost no inflation. Some of these statements are really funny though. And a record stock market price. 401ks are highest ever. We are taking in trillions of dollars and will soon begin paying down our enormous debt, 37 trillion. Record investment in the USA, plants and factories going up all over the place. A dividend of at least $2,000 a person, not including high-income people, will be paid to everyone. So he said not including high-income people. So I wonder what the cap he's talking about. What is the cap going to be, and what is the government's version of high income people? Is that going to be like a collective household income of based on your taxes of over 100K a year? You don't get the stimulus, because if you were to account for inflation for a household that makes 100K a year and they've had a certain amount of expenses, it's actually kind of crazy how much 100K gets wiped out because of inflation. So if you made 100K a year, or you're making maybe 60 a year, I don't know, like your total household income is between 60 and 100 a year, you're still in economic poverty and working poverty, even though you're making a pretty decent wage. That's why there's credit cards that are maxed out right now. Credit cards are maxed out at the highest they've ever been. And it's going to continue to grow going into the holiday season, because people are just going to want to, be irresponsible, get Christmas presents and things like that. So yeah, I'm very interested to see what's going to happen. A lot of the crypto bros obviously are looking at the stimulus, and we're like, 2,000 stimulus checks will solve the cost of living crisis. And the crypto bros are like, no, we're about to gamble all of this on Kalshi and Polymarket and DraftKings. But this one got me. This one was funny. Robinhood and DraftKings executives hearing about the 2,000 stimulus checks, and they're like they're ready. They're ready. They know all of that money is about to go right straight to gambling. And we finally watched the full episode of CoffeeZilla. And it's interesting, CoffeeZilla at the same time was really pointing out the fact of the same thing we've been pointing out, and kind of we kind of felt it through the leverage trading, but we were still seeing that like a lot of my friends that I work with, people, just a lot of people sports bet. They're sports betting, they're parlaying. A lot of it is, it's so popular. It is just, it's kind of like an epidemic. And so I wonder if those same people that are sports betting are also building up a portfolio. And also, I would wager to bet that the money that they've lost doing these parlays or 50-50 chances, that there's more people that have lost money than they've made money. I'm sure there's people that obviously, like, they maybe have gotten pretty, I guess, good or an edge at betting at specific things. So then they're just able to catch it. Maybe they're just super locked in. That's obviously happening. But then you have the ratio of the cheating, and you go down the line of like how we've found, and the people have been going to jail and been getting sued for cheating in the sports betting and in poker. So what are your odds of in that type of environment of you actually coming out over the next 5 years with more than what you put in? Very slim chance. So the point I'm trying to make here is that if people were to take this $2,000 and not gamble it into parlaying on DraftKings, they Robinhood might be able to, they go to the direction of Robinhood. And I think about when we got our stimulus checks back in 2020, what would have happened if we were to just have doubled down and just be like, I'm going to take all this stimulus and put it into Dogecoin, Bitcoin, ETH. You just went into the crypto section and just went, and then took $200, put it in the S&P, called it a day. So we're going to see what happens. We're going to see what happens. But here's a figure from the previous stimulus where in June, you got to think, the stimulus came in, you got January, February, March, April. March was when the shutdown actually happened. In March, April, May, June. Then you have reporting month, June. Average percentage spent was 29% was spent. And then in January, or so we'll go down. Average percent saved was 36%. And the average percent that went towards debt was 34%. So it seemed like there was definitely a good average of people that were trying to save it, but then also a good percentage, of people trying to pay off some debt. So they were like, oh my God, because some people were crumbled, they were hurting, and do I need this? Thank you. This is cute. Hold on. My assistant wanted me to show you guys this. And to say Merry Christmas from the candy. Is this a candy apple? It is it's a caramel apple. Nice, that's cute. But yeah, so in January, you could see that the average spent was 25%. Then the average percent saved went up to 37%. And then the average percent towards debt went up 37% as well. And then in March, it went up 41%. And then you see an average percent spent in March was 24%. So it seemed like the average of its spending was going down and then percent towards debt going up. Check 1 2 1 2. Hey, all right, I'm back. Sorry, I got the kid home. I got the kids home from school, so you're getting the Rogue live stream. But it's whatever. All right, so yeah, so here those are the numbers. Those are the numbers. And what's funny, you know what? And I talk about numbers. You know, I'll mention it. Screw it. You know, Dutchy. It was funny. I went into Alexo Crypto's live stream today, and I was just chatting, and Dutchy was like, "Oh yeah, with your 6 people watching," and I was like, "Yeah." Yeah, with my 6 people watching. I said, you know what? I probably will have 6 people. I said, you know what? I might have less than 6 people watching on YouTube. And you know what? I don't care. I don't care. Don't care. I will keep streaming. I'm not going to let that dull my spirits just because I have 5 people watching on YouTube. It's fine. All right. We're going to go through the likes. We're going to go through a few. $15 on X. Yeah, do you have 15 on X? No, I just don't. I don't appreciate the jokes, but it's fine. It's all good. I just told him. I told him we'll have the last laugh. But so Richard Hart, this is some pretty big news. If you were following all the stuff through the weekend, Richard Hart proposed a new project on Pulse Chain that has to do with privacy. That has to do with being able to send in your coins possibly into a protocol, which is very interesting because it's also kind of going into the line of having no middlemen, not having basically having to go through certain routers that are going to be able to get either hacked, or it has a lot of discrepancies in it that have a lot of vulnerabilities, because we see things like, for instance, the most recent one was Balancer, I believe, was a big hack. We've seen drains from these chains, these staking pools, these protocols. A few of them that I was actually invested in way early. I remember Ariva. If you guys remember Ariva, that staking pool got hacked. It was got completely drained. And whenever you see that, it's just like just run away fast from things like that. It's really hard for something to come back, and if it does, it's like a rare unicorn of something getting drained like that. Like, and then it takes the trust out of the protocol completely, especially when it's something that has to do with staking, because the whole point of staking is to be able to generate rewards into a pool, and over time it rewards the people that are putting into that pool, and the whole thing gets drained. I mean, you're kind of screwed. I remember that happening. I was like, man, that's not good. So whole point of the project is to eliminate middlemen, just to long story short, don't have to go into like the fundamentals. I would imagine what it is going to be. It's called ProveX. First, it was called Mr. Prove, and no one liked that at all. The community basically helped. Richard was very smart in, I don't know, but there's also someone made a good point and said, hey, all these domains were already bought and already set up like a few years ago. And he's just like playing with people on the timeline right now. And that everything that he's been posting about, people think he's doing it like by the seat of his pants. And he's just like kind of schizo, like, yeah, I'm going to do this today. I doubt it. Like when someone has been able to already make millions of dollars before they even got into crypto, there's probably some type of, thing that he's doing, that he's spending his time on to be able to because the thing with people that do have big egos, they really like to prove a point, and they like to prove people wrong. And if you're going to have the most asymmetric upside potential of any type of like ecosystem or project, you're going to want to have a founder that does have an ego of wanting to prove people wrong. And especially if they have a lot of money, they might go to extreme lengths to do so. And it seems like if you're paying attention, Richard Hart is doing that exact same thing. But no one wants to pay attention to it in that type of way because they see it as a, quote, scam. But I see it as a massive opportunity to just play along. That's all you have to think about it. And that's exactly how you have to look at everything in the cryptocurrency market, is like you are just playing a massive risk. You're not guaranteed anything because all portfolios are different. Like investing in crypto, there's so many different things going on. There's so many narratives. And the biggest one right now, though, is the ETFs on the institutional side. And so we'll get into that really quick. We'll break down some of the ETFs. So the biggest one right now is Solana. Okay. So the last live stream, we talked about Matt Hogan from Bitwise was explaining that the market's maturing and people want to have generating easy staking yield over time, over the next 5 to 10 years. So when you think about altcoins, the seasons in the market cycle and the Bitcoin 4-year cycle is dead. That's been gone, and it also can be represented in a very easy way by going. You go click on the Fear and Greed Index, go to altcoin season or market cycle indicators. You can see right here, even CoinMarketCap has that Bitcoin rainbow chart. And look at that white line, how it's so stretched out. And look at every cycle after the halving, how we've had like a spike. It looks like a mountain peak. Do you see any mountain peaks after the fourth halving? No. So we're not even there yet. So this whole setup of the regulatory framing and the dying of the Operation Choke Point Biden administration thing that was going on has obviously changed. And so it took, I think, all of this geopolitical stuff to happen with the tariffs, and that's why everything is so stretched out. That's why the cycle has been broken. I think if it was like with all of that black swan stuff and things that have happened in the market, that has attributed to what we've seen in the price action. It makes total sense. And I think the big accounts like Benjamin Cohen, like you go to Benjamin Cohen or you go to Altcoin Daily and Benjamin Cohen's like, I'm out. He's like, I sold everything. You go to Altcoin Daily and here's the most recent video, or did they delete it already? No. All right. I'm selling everything. Why Ben Cohen is cashing out.
Go back and look at all the major top.
So I just don't see it that way. I see it as this is a massive opportunity depending on what you're holding. It really just depends on honestly what you're holding. Let's just be honest. I mean, there's going to be people that are not going to perform as well, and there's going to be some that perform really well. I want to be in the boat of performing well, so I'm not going to leverage trade. I tell you, I have had the thoughts like, oh my gosh, I really would like to get into some positions, blah 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 blah. But I think for me right now, it's a waste of time. And I think it's not helping any of the price action really, because when you're trading these exchanges, especially the low tier exchanges with just USDT, it's not really helping the coin. I mean, I don't really think it is. At least that's my school of thought now. I've changed my ways. That's why I'm promoting a MetaMask link in my description instead of an exchange link. From an exchange that will charge you absolutely no fees. There's no maker taker fees. There's no fees anywhere for some reason. And they'll somehow give you 500% US, 500% yield on some coin. I'm sure that exchange is very safe. Yeah. Watch out. All right. So let's look real quick. This was originally what the logo was going to be, but then it was terrible with the top hat. But then now it's going to be this ProveX. There's no official coin, and apparently there's going to be a sacrifice for it, just like Hex. And I don't know, but the last time we had a sacrifice like this, the pulse chain coins, the ecosystem, they pumped really well. So I'm looking for the biggest asymmetric upside stuff, but then also we know through the ETFs right now is where the institutions are going to be wanting to get their yield. They're wanting that staking yield. So right now, the Solana ETF is going to be, I think, the talk of the town. Right now, it has nothing. It has just straight inflows going into it, while Ethereum and Bitcoin are kind of slowing down. Like you go to Bitcoin, kind of slowing down a little bit. We did have some inflows, but it's got, a little more selling than anything. Same with Ethereum. So what that's going to do, it's going to make the Solana ecosystem and the coins that are on Solana do really well. So we're trying to position ourselves for that, and it's going to segue into a particular narrative that I guess we should all focus on in crypto. And it's been through Zcash pumping like crazy. We got all the big accounts talking about Zcash. But if we want to be honest, we have these are massive market cap tokens. And if we're buying at it right now, we're buying resistance from like ancient dinosaurs past. And so your best bet is you're going to get a 2x, maybe a 2 to 3x. I mean, that's still great, but that's still pushing it on buying some of these high market cap coins. And that's with a lot of them. That's not just Zcash. That's a lot of them, A lot of them, sometimes it just feels like they're a little overvalued. And it shows whenever it gets hot and people come in and buy the tops, and then it ends up going down. That's exactly what happened with gold just recently. I mean, gold was like lines out the door, and then it went down 15% from that point and had consolidated. So it's tricky. But I think with Solana, the key here is not necessarily the memes. I know like a lot of people think that Solana is just like the meme chain. It's not like that. It's more than that. Like there are people building stuff on Solana that the world will use. And so I'm betting on Solana, and also some of these low cap, like projects, like some of them wouldn't, like in the privacy narrative, this one being Zera. And this is really cool. Hold on just a second. All right, I'm back. Sorry, guys. So why we're mentioning Zera because there is obviously some attention going into privacy coins. Some of the more high cap privacy coins could be Rose. There's Monero. There's Dash. There's ZK. ZK Zinc. What else? There's a bunch. If you go to CoinMarketCap, and then you can click on filters and categories, and you can just type in a category. You just type in privacy. Type in privacy, and we'll just apply that. And we'll just pull up just what has the biggest market cap. So Zcash right now is dominating. It's at 9.5 billion. Okay. It's at 586. So it just almost got, so people were calling for $1,000 Zcash. And some accounts, some big accounts that had some trades were Thread Guy. We have Arthur Hayes, obviously, had been like buying Zcash. He was doing a Zcash giveaway. So it's like, I don't know, like that's when I start kind of like not like, because then naturally you are going to want to be like, oh, maybe I should start buying some Zcash now. I don't know, not me. That's when I'm like less inclined to then start buying Zcash, because I think that the people that are selling Zcash now are on to the next thing. And so if that, then that's just the reality of crypto, is that the market right now is like, it's just rotating. There's no new money coming in, not yet. And the money that's coming in that represents the market cap going up is stable coins, minting. Okay. So not a lot of people really understand that. And it's like, that's what's generating the market caps going up, is that companies like Circle, companies like USDT, and all these stablecoin issuers, and the states with the Genius Act and the Clarity Act, that's where the market value is going to come up. But then naturally, where the stablecoins are being minted is where the money is going to flow. Okay, so right now, because Bitcoin had its pump, it makes natural sense that because we topped up at 126, and when we went down, then profits rotated into those same people, rotated into Zcash, probably kind of got the just kind of like the natural tip in rotation of buckets of water of the liquidity, kind of just rotated into the privacy. And I think Zcash was the pick. And so, and then gold. What's funny was it was gold, Zcash, XRP a little bit. Like I think we pointed it out on our website. If you go to my website, on the crypto bubbles, if you go to the year, it was like all of this stuff that we could have been buying the whole entire time, but we were buying this other garbage, But yeah, so you have Dash. So what I'm trying to say here is you have all this other stuff that's obviously going to, I think, see a rotation. Like I think Rose, we've always noticed Rose before we were even paying attention to Zcash or Monero. We were interested in Rose. We liked the name, but then we noticed that this always had a pretty nice, like, it always looked good when altcoins were pumping. When things were just pumping, we were like, Rose was like a nice solid hit. So I'm going to keep my eye on that, just because my observation of it, how it moved during these types of altcoin seasons. Dash made a funny joke on their Twitter, where DoorDash actually has done really bad because people don't have enough money to spend the extra $10 to get McDonald's delivered to their door through DoorDash. So DoorDash's earnings for the quarter were terrible. The stock went down 20%, and Dash made a joke and said people were buying the wrong Dash the whole time. They should have just bought Dash. I think that alone should have had them pumping, but they haven't been doing that well. But you got to look at the market cap size. It's $984 million market cap compared to the $9.5 billion Zcash. So if you're kind of thinking like, let me build up a privacy bag of some mid-high to mid-low cap stuff, I think ZK Sync, Dash, Monero, and Rose are good choices in my humble opinion. And then look, you have Zera. So Zera is at 26 million. It's already ranked up very close to these other protocols, and it's very new. But what Zera is doing is very unique, that they're trying to build a offline protocol where you can send cash private, peer-to-peer, P2P, seamless, inside of a DeFi dashboard that works multi-chain, but it's built on Solana. So it's powered by the Zera token. So we're very interested in this. I want to test it. I think stuff like this is really cool. So it's any stablecoin or token with privacy, complete transaction and anonymity, offline payment capability, zero knowledge proof transfers. And so the Zera token is for governance. So like a lot of the times when we have these things, these tokens powering it, it's governance and protocol decisions. So the people that are holding Zera have governance and voting rights on what is going to happen. Then there's going to be programmatic buyback and burn. So basically auto smart contract buy and burns, access gate for premium features. And so it's pretty cool. So this is like new tech. So this is like investing in new tech, and I think it could work. I think it could work. We will see, but you never know. It could go to zero. And that's what we always have to, the preface is, this is not financial advice, and any of these things that you think you're investing in are going to make you money. You need to also think that it's going to go to zero. So, oh yeah. So altcoin ETFs, Mike Smith is bringing up a good point. So we were ready for this too. So Zara, by the way, is the Solana token. When Solana really starts to get more traction on the ETF, which it is, I think it's going to really pump the coin. I think that's how Solana is going to get to $1,000. It's going to surprise a lot of people. Okay, so here we go. Here's a list of the ETFs. So we have a list of altcoin ETF filings in 2025, and we have Solana. There's 23 filings. We have a CME Sol, futures ETF. Let's see. We have the XRP, Wisdom Tree, Franklin Templeton. That's going to be a big one. So I think for the XRP army, this will be huge. I think this will get XRP to $5. I think institutions and the 401ks will look at XRP as kind of like the third or fourth choice with Ethereum and Solana, because I think what's going to happen is that we're going to have like Bitcoin ETFs be the main traction of ETF volume. Then we have ETH, Sol, XRP, and then it goes down the line of the basket ETFs that are going to include Litecoin, Dogecoin, Cardano, AVAX, Avalanche, Hedera. Hedera's got a Canary Capital one. Then we have Polkadot, we have Chainlink, Aptos, Stellar's OG. That's at the Rex Osprey. And Rex Osprey is the same one that is servicing the Solana ETF right now, currently. Because you see Farside Investors, or no, was it? I thought it was Rex Osprey. No, so Bitwise and Grayscale. And then you have some of these. Grayscale has a multi-asset basket ETF that we've talked about that I think will do so well. Imagine someone who just is a retiree, whatever business they were in. Let's say they just got like multiple accounts. They got multiple retirement accounts. They maybe have a pension. They maybe have like their own separate account. They got hundreds of thousands of dollars everywhere. And they're hearing winds of this new money, this new thing like crypto and these ETFs, these crypto ETFs. And they can literally just get a Grayscale GDLC that has ADA, AVAX, Polkadot, Link, Litecoin, Stellar Lumens. But the whole point of the government shutdown, I think someone made a good point. I can't remember exactly who it was, but they made a point saying that the government shutdown was all planned just to slow the market down even more, just to slow the progress on certain areas. Well, let's see. So in most of those stable coins, in most of these coins, but who holds the most stable coins? Oh, sorry. I was like reading your headband. I can't read. Who holds the most stable coins? Oh, so the chains that hold the most stable coins is very important. This is where I think the kind of the bread and butter of crypto altcoin investing is. You can like have all your theses, your whatever all day, but if you don't just go on chain and just see like, okay, how much TVL is here? How much stablecoin market cap do they have? And how much 24-hour DEX volume is happening? Like, what's going on? Like, is it like, what's the action? And so what we've seen recently is that we've had a lot of Solana action, Ethereum, and Base. Base has been getting a lot of action, and Arbitrum has always kind of been up there in the top 10. And that's why we've kind of kept an eye on ARB. It's possible that token could really pump hard when Ethereum breaks all-time high and does like a 2-3x. I think that the layer 2 case of some of these pumping could be like very much a thing. So I think Optimism and Arbitrum and all these different layer 2s of Ethereum have a good chance of pumping because of that network effect, you know? So it's like, it's not like you need to have thousands of dollars of Arbitrum. Like you could just have like $500 and just kind of have it in your wallet and be like, hey, you know, if ETH goes to 8K, it's like having some of those strong Ethereum meme coins would be a smart move, because then it's like, it's just the network effect. And then if you're doing that same concept, but you're going down the line a little bit, like you're going, say, okay, Polygon, Sui, near Aptos, then you're going in and buying tokens that are on Aptos or protocols that are built on Aptos, knowing that there is going to be an possible Aptos ETF. I mean, just stuff like that. So then, okay, stable coins. Stable coins are very important because this is what is going to be powering all the stuff. I mean, this is where the money is going to be flowing. We're going to have POS systems taking these stable coins. So what chain is going to be used the most and what can handle all that transaction? Well, possibly, but I don't know. Marty Party says Base can't handle it. He says Solana is going to be the network of choice for basically high throughput transactions. And the same with Avalanche. Like Avalanche, Solana, and what else? What else is going to be just like be able to handle that? I don't know. Not very many. I mean, like people always tote that they can handle the throughput of what credit cards and actual like our system now. Like they're going to have to be able to compete with that. So who can do it? Who actually has the highest transactions per second with the stable coins? It's like, it's Polygon, Avalanche, Solana, and yeah, I mean, that's kind of it in my book. I'm not mentioning Binance Smart Chain. I don't talk about Binance anymore. But real quick, we're going to go ahead and end it. We'll play a little clip. We didn't finish the Matt Hogan video of him talking about ETH and Solana. The ETS is very important. Oh yeah. Oh, XRP. Oh, let's see if they updated it, because XRP they have the RLUSD. And we did mention previous live streams that if you are bullish XRP, you need 2 reasons why. Because someone is going to test you. They're going to say, why would XRP has no chance now? That like Ethereum, Swift already picked Linnea. They've already, picked the Western Union, all these things. They're picking Solana. Why would I even care about XRP? Well, XRP is going to go public, and they're just going to be affiliated with in a different market structure, I think. And I'm being honest, like I don't even own any XRP. I'm usually not very nice with XRP, but I do think there is a case for them going public, and it opens up like way different liquidity than retail just coming in to buy XRP because they think it's going to go to $100. I don't think it's going to go to $100. I think XRP could get to a fair, if it's like parabolic, $6. Okay, $6 is fair for XRP right now. I think it's going to fib and hit like $4.50 to $5, like in this run, like when we start to go up again. That's fair. But that's still like a 2x from where we're at right now. So, but I think you combine that, Ripple goes public, and they have the ETF. So that is a lot of liquidity, and I think that could generate some price movement and some bullishness. And I tell you what, that freaking XRP army, man, with the TikTok on XRP on TikTok is insane. And the Instagram reels, that's what I think, like, you kind of need that. Like there's something about that where, you know, there's this network effect and retail effect of bullishness that can really, and delusion. We'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, so let's go through the portfolio real quick. All right, so yeah, we're still bullish Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin is obviously, you know, it's kind of faking people out, the false move Monday. We had a big bullish run up from the bottom. We hit a trend line. Where's the trend line? We'll show you the trend line on Bitcoin here. We had a nice trend hit. You see that red line right there? We'd hit that trend. Nice trend hit. And we're just bouncing, but I think we're trying to fill the gap on the CME. There's a CME gap at 104 or something. Some kind of gap somewhere. Oh yeah, there's a little gap. Yeah, we gapped right there, so we're probably just trying to fill that gap and then maybe test up into the 116. It's looking pretty good. Not looking too bad. So we're bullish ETH, really bullish Solana. We're really bullish Kronos. We're bullish Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic 10, Inu, ticker Bitcoin. Base has been like super bullish ticker Bitcoin. I think they might end up choosing this to use as their promotion for onboarding retail for memes, because Bitcoin's going to look too expensive, and then they're going to type in Bitcoin and be like, well, this is hilarious. They might buy a bag. Polygon. I'm super bullish Pol. I'm bullish AVAX. Bullish Pepe. XYO, I don't know what's going on. I'm kind of getting like less and less bullish as things go on. I'm starting to just kind of like really consolidate my portfolio and just like literally just only go into like very small things that I'm starting to believe in a little bit more. Arbitrum, like I said, is kind of like a sneaky one. I'm just kind of having on my radar. Wojak is kind of like my Pepe combo. Like I'm just bullish Pepe and Wojak for ETH, strong ETH memes. Just like ticker Bitcoin. These are my three favorite memes. Wojak, Pepe, and ticker. Hands down. Dogecoin, soft spot for Doge is what onboarded me into crypto. IMX for the gaming crypto ecosystem. Narrative, amazing. Really good tech. Orca, like I said, the DEX tokens for Solana. When Solana hits $1,000, Orca, Radium, Meteora, anything that has big liquidity pool set up, those things are going to pump. Medieval Empires is powered by Immutable X, and it's one of the more playable crypto games that have a nice governance utility token that if you stake it, you get points and things in the game. Pretty cool. When gamers know about this and they start to really understand this, and it's play to earn, and if you just like are a massive RTS nerd, do you want to play this and earn money, you can actually do it. Brett, I think, has a good chance to still be one of the base mascots for the base chain. And it's part of the boys club, so it's part of that Pepe narrative with the boys club. Still think it has a chance. Nakamoto Games, they just released a mobile app, and that is kind of like a low cap gem for me. I just think whenever the crypto games stuff starts pumping up again, this always does really well. Optimism is that Arbitrum play layer 2 for Ethereum. And this is kind of where I'm at. Zera, and then also with Pulse Chain, my portfolio kind of looks like this. It's very funny. I don't have any Rage Guy anymore. I swapped it into Zera. I'm going kind of full port Zera and Zeus on Solana, along with getting a little bit more Orca and Radium and Solana itself for my Solana portfolio. And then just trying to acquire a little bit more Crow, get some more ETH, get some more ticker Bitcoin, trying to acquire more Pulse Chain core coins. And I think the Pulse Chain ecosystem right now, in terms of just like testing it out at this point, is the best time to test out the DeFi. I think this is the best time to test out the DeFi, and I'm going to use it as an example whenever I do a kind of crypto seminar for the retail. Locally, I'm going to be doing crypto seminars on how to basically set up a wallet, go into and use a like Liberty Swap, for instance, how to onboard from a debit card, how to then swap and bridge into, using a combination of two wallets. So it's like I can basically teach people how to use Solana by Phantom and use Liberty Swap and MetaMask by using all these different bridges and using these two different wallets, and they're basically learning like everything they need to basically hit the rubber with, hit the rubber on the road. Because that's what people need. Like, that's what I think content creators need to focus on right now in crypto, instead of leverage trading or trying to get people to trade. Like, no one knows what the hell you're talking about. Like, the only like the people in crypto that are just like trenching kind of know what you're talking about. But the people that are going to come in droves, once they kind of realize they got sidelined for like 5-6 years, they should have been focusing and trying to, learn this stuff. But now it's like it's implemented in everything. And they could have been buying stakes in the networks. That's how you have to think about it. You're buying stakes in the network, and you're just trying to figure out which one's going to get the most asymmetric upside potential here. That's the goal. You should. There's literally nothing else you should be focusing on besides acquiring the best asymmetric upside potential coins. That's it. That's all you need to be doing right now. And have your thesis, back it up. I just gave you a thesis for every single coin that I am acquiring, and I gave you a thesis for why XRP Army should be mega bullish, even though I don't own any XRP. So what's going to happen pretty soon here, we're going to get the stimulus checks coming, not this year at all. It's not going to happen this year at all. Give me a break. It's not going to happen. It took Congress. By the way, let's go to the post here. It took Congress. Just remember, it took Congress 5 months to agree to $600 stimulus checks for Americans and 8 hours to send $13.6 billion to another country and give themselves a 21% pay raise. Just remember that. If anyone on the quote side of always thinking that the Democrats or even these Republicans and all these people that are in power that voted for all of this stuff to happen over the past 4 to 5 years, they did a terrible job. They did an absolute terrible job. And we literally got like chunk change of what they printed. They printed so much, but we got like a very, very small portion of it. Very, very small portion of it. A lot of it went to, obviously, I mean, look at Nancy Pelosi's net worth. It's pretty crazy. It's absolutely atrocious. So yeah, just remember, it took them 5 months to agree to $600 to help us out while we were literally locked in our houses. But then they only spent 8 hours to send $13 billion. And then think about the debacle with the food stamps and the EBT. That was $6 billion that they needed to have in that account. And they were just like, yeah, we can't find it. Sorry. It's not there. Yeah, it looks like people are locked in. Let's go. Charles Satoshi, let's go. Locked in. Mr. Tim is locked in. Let's go. We're locked in. Yes, it's so cool if you go on the Ticker Bitcoin website and copy and download all of the memes. You can turn all of the memes into a video, and you could almost storyboard a whole entire meme episode or like an anime by doing this. And I've thought about it. I might spend like the whole winter making my own custom like Ticker Bitcoin, Akira mashup. I don't know, zine meme or something. But yeah, it looks like people are locked in. Everyone's getting stemmed. Yeah, a little stemmy. Richard Hart replied to me again. He seems to, and I got that he said, show a screenshot, but I keep telling him, I'm like, dude, why is it that like on all of any other wallet swap, like or a DEX, when you go into the DEX, you can click on your wallet and you can see your balances. Like for instance, like you look at Jupiter, for instance, Jupiter or Phantom or not a DEX or any of these DEXs. The DEXs, they need this. So when you click, so for instance, PulseX, I love PulseX. I think it's really cool. I like it. It's just simple, you know, but when you go here, just like on Uniswap, you know how Uniswap works, right? When you connect your wallet, like you go here, you can select the network, but in this case, it's just Pulse Chain. You go here, click wallet, and then when you click wallet, or just when you go to this drop-down menu, you should be able to see your tokens right on the side. Just right native in PulseX. I know you can go to pulsechainstats.com, or you can go to GoPulse, or you can go to whatever to view your portfolio, but that's not the point. You need to just be able to do it inside of here. One-stop shop, boom. So, Mr. Richard Hart, this is what I've been trying to tell you for like the past couple weeks now, and you now replied to me again. You said show a screenshot, and I'm showing you the screenshot, sir. This is what I was talking about, Richard. When you're in PulseX, you should be able to see your balances on the side, pop down like a drop menu. And what I did, I actually made a image of what it should look like. So right when you go here, it should just go boom, drop down, have the logos, have your balances. It should also show your stakes and your LP tokens. It should just show everything. So I think that's very valuable. Let's see if the dev will dev and do the thing. All right, guys, that's it. That's all I got for today. Do you accept the truth? Hopefully you do. If you'd like to directly support the channel, we have a NFT collection. We got some NFTs for sale right now. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 NFTs for sale on the market if you want to directly support the channel. Instead of shilling you an exchange link or something like that, I'm going to shill you my own NFTs. But these are dope. I mean, these are really cool. If you want to have something super flashy in your NFT collection, these are amazing. They're very much psychedelic, Brian Anderson style 5-gram mushroom trip. I bet that's what he saw when he closed his eyes, tripping on the mushrooms yesterday. If you guys were tuning into the culture on X, Brian Johnson, did I say Anderson? I'm like, Mr. Anderson. It was he was Brian Anderson or Johnson, whatever his name is, the guy that doesn't want to die. Well, he took 5 grams of mushrooms and he stayed inside the whole time. I was like, bro, you gotta go outside. But this is probably what he saw. Something like that. This one's my favorite. This one is amazing. I love this. This is such like an optical illusion. Like, if you want to show someone a really cool NFT, this is it. This is it right here. You got the freaking Bitcoin gold coin inside the iris with the pine tree, with like the Christmas tree, with a digital optical illusion Bitcoin. Show me an NFT that looks like that right now. Show me an NFT that looks like that on the market. You ain't going to find one. You're not going to find one. It's not going to happen. But yeah, if you guys want to directly support, you can buy one of those NFTs. There's only a few for sale right now, so get them while they're hot. And also, if you are swapping on MetaMask, you're not going to find. This is very important. If you're swapping on MetaMask, use this link. It's the rewards program, and I think right now it's still just mobile. So if you haven't signed up for it yet, this literally you don't have to trade, you don't have to do it. If you're just swapping, if you're bridging, you'll get points. Like, it's just like a point system, just like credit cards. People are complaining about it, but really it's just like anything else. If you're farming flyer miles, if you're farming credit card points, or you're trying to get extra gas points or whatever it is, it's the same thing. So if you're actively doing DeFi and swapping around, why not use my link? And with that being said, hope you guys have a good day. Hope you guys have a good night. And thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Make sure you guys are tuning into these live streams at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you're subscribing. And we're going to really lock in on this content. Right now, we're kind of just going through a transition. I think you guys have been, but if you've been with this channel long enough, you're probably seeing the evolution and the progression and where I think this channels is starting to lead. And it's very much leading away from leverage trading, away from always like kind of trying to pull up the charts and put in entries and all this stuff like that. It's like, you know, I'm swaying a little bit more away from that, and I'm getting to, like I said, I'm going back to the basics, and we'll see how that goes. I hope you guys are along for the ride, and yeah, I just, I don't think you'll be disappointed when you see the nature of how this channel will start to grow and how I start to focus on, I think, the kind of fundamentals, and go back to the fundamentals with a little bit of spice with the memes. So thank you guys. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you on the next one. Peace.